Welcome to the Atletifo Wrestling Podcast. So today's a big day. Last week, for our very first podcast, it was just myself and Hamish, but we've expanded. We've expanded the team this week. So joining us for the very first time is actual undefeated MMA fighter and a good friend of ours, Tayab. Welcome, Tayab. How do you feel?
Thank you for having me. Hi, my name's Tayab. I'm an alcoholic. When I first started drinking, it was about like the age of 10 years old, when my father fed me a glass of beer at the dinner table. Oh,
like
wait,
a
shit,
true
this is the
Muslim.
wrestling one. Okay. Oh, crap. I'm feeling good. I've never done a podcast before, and I did love wrestling quite a lot as a child, so this would be a good way to get back into it.
Sounds good. Yeah, I was actually going to ask you if this was your first experience doing a podcast, but you've cleared that one up already. So thanks for that.
Oh yeah, definitely. I have talked at length. Sorry?
I was going to ask about the alcoholism.
Oh, don't ask about that. It's a bit too traumatic for me. I don't like bringing it up a lot.
We'll try and unprovoked.
Well, you see, alcoholism does come out in different ways, and you know what? You win a prize for that, for pointing it out. Anyways, wrestling.
Yeah, let's get back to the actual topic. So as this is your first time, I thought we'd ask you a few questions about wrestling, just to get an idea of your interests in it. So, firstly,
Okay.
what is your earliest wrestling memory?
Oh, this is great. So I used to live in Pakistan when I was like 9 years old, right? And I was switching the TVs, and then I saw Batista. I saw SmackDown, right? And I saw
Mhm.
Batista. And I remember seeing one of my dad's friends who was like, and then I watched the episode and it was fucking kick-ass, right? And then afterwards I went to go with my dad to like a dinner with him, and I saw one of his friends and he looked exactly like him. So in my mind, my dad was friends with Batista, and I never questioned that at all. And that was my first exposure to wrestling. And then obviously you played like the WWE 2K games and stuff like that, and they're just great. And then, you know, I started watching it a bit more religiously in 2014, I think, when Daniel Bryan was like rising up, with these two actually.
Yeah,
And
that was
then,
that was a
of
good time to
course.
start it, I think.
It was. And then I love how he got the thing and then retired and then came back, and then Roman Reigns became a thing, but now Roman Reigns is good now, so, you know, a lot can happen in about fucking 7 years.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
It really has.
9
it
years
really has.
now since
It
we've got into wrestling.
Nearly the 10-year anniversary of Total Divas.
It's been
Oh,
been
no.
10 years since Ryback nearly won the Royal Rumble.
Oh
Wow.
God. Ryback. That is a term. You know, fun fact, Ryback had to legally change his name to Ryback so that he could have the trademark to it. Because
wish I
otherwise
could-
WWE owned it.
I wish I could legally change my name to Ryback.
You can, can't you?
I feel like Ryback would sue me after all the stuff he went through.
Is that what the B stands for in your name? Ryback.
Ryback.
Okay, sorry. Do you have any more questions, Matt?
Well, I was thinking, seeing as we didn't actually do this last week, Hamish, what about you? What's your earliest wrestling memory?
I remember my brother would always put it on at my nan's house, and I would not watch it in the slightest. I want to watch The Simpsons because she had Sky, so it was a pretty big deal. She had the new Simpsons on. I remember watching
Of course.
WWE Experience in like 2006, just randomly changing channels, and then it was Rey Mysterio was against Chavo in an I Quit match, and he was sort of hung upside down on some scaffolding as Chavo repeatedly hit him with a chair until he just said I quit. Just hit him with
I've
a
seen
chair
that match
over
since.
and over and over again.
Was that was in the showcase last year, wasn't it? In some way, I think maybe they showed a clip of it.
Maybe 'cause Chavo wasn't in the game, but maybe they showed the clip.
Yeah, I think they showed it as a recap. So that would have been, what, 15 years ago, was it? 15, 16 years ago?
God damn.
17 is about 17 years ago, I think.
Wow.
Showing our age here, boys.
Yeah, we're old.
No, we are really
As for mine was 2000 late 2007. I was on a school trip, and it was one of those trips where you go away for a week and you do all the outdoorsy things. And
Oh, I love those.
yeah, we went to Brecon Beacons. It was quite cool. But
And
two
Matt
of the
stayed
three
inside
people I
the
shared
whole
a
time
room
watching
with.
wrestling.
What?
You stayed inside the whole time watching wrestling.
No. But two of the
The
three
Camp
people I
Council
shared a room
showcase of
with
wrestling.
were really big wrestling fans, and they kept talking about it like every evening.
Uh-huh.
All I kept hearing was Batista, Undertaker, Great Khali, the big three. So as soon as I got home, I recorded SmackDown and was hooked for years. So that was kind of how I got into it. I did try and watch it when I was a bit younger, and all I saw was Undertaker murdering Hurricane while like 10,000 people cheered, and I was like, this doesn't feel legal. Someone's got to do something about this.
Yeah, I know, right? I just love those three that you said, the big three, like Batista, Undertaker, and the Great Khali.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, two of those have like immense respect in the WWE, and one of them's name is Mark Calloway, and it's just like,
And one's Michelle McCool's husband.
one went to a funeral dressed as the Undertaker. Do you remember when he did that with the Paul Bearer service? He came out as the Undertaker instead of like as himself.
That's commitment.
But
It's not commitment, it's stupid. Why would you do that?
It's commitment to stupidity. That's
I
something,
guess,
right? It's got to count
yeah.
for something. Moving on to the next question. This is for all of us, but I'll start this time with Hamish, actually. Who is your all-time favourite male and female wrestler?
female is probably Bailey or AJ Lee. I always like them.
Okay.
And then male, it's sort of like a three-way tie between Daniel Bryan, Jeff Hardy, and The Undertaker. Undertaker purely for his commitment toward the gimmick, as Tayab mentioned.
The bit. The bit.
He did it for the bit. He teamed
What about you,
with Roman
Tayab? Who's your
Reigns against
favourite
Drew
male and
McIntyre.
female wrestler?
Female, I think is either Becky Lynch or Paige, because like I think first time I watched Paige, I thought she was like really really good, and I think Becky Lynch, when I watched a couple of her matches, she's like quite sick. And I do like Becky Lynch's character as well, like one of the first women to like main event WrestleMania and shit, which is really really cool. And I just think she's badass, to be honest. Like I think in terms of male wrestlers, it has to be Danny Bryan, because he's the one who got me to first watch and then just kind of commit to watching. And then I think in terms of technical ability, I think Seth Rollins is one of the best wrestlers ever. Like,
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
it's very hard for him to have a bad match, and when he's with a good opponent, he's just fucking sick.
That's,
And he's just
yeah.
great. Like he does everything right that a wrestler needs to do. Like he can be main event, he can be mid card, he can be bottom card, and he still make it entertaining.
Exactly,
Like,
yeah.
I think the Dean Ambrose Seth Rollins feud was really really good when it happened.
Mm. Yeah, he kind of ticks every box, I think, that you need.
He really does. Like he can do like strongman wrestling. He's really good in the air. He's really good in promos. He's really funny. He can be vindictive when he needs to. He had like one of the best moments in wrestling with the turn on the Shield. I
Yeah.
think that's like one of the most defining moments of like the 2010s of wrestling. And,
Yeah,
like, even after that,
iconic.
like, he carried it, and he also had an amazing WrestleMania cash in, which was fucking sick as well.
Yeah,
And also just I just think there's just nothing bad about him.
yeah, I like that shout. As for me, I think really it's the same names that you guys have said. My favourite women's wrestler of all time is AJ Lee. I think she revolutionised women's wrestling, at least in WWE. I think she was really a standout in what was quite a poor time for women's wrestling. If you look at the rest of that division at the time, she was levels above more or less everyone, except for Caitlyn was pretty good as well, I'd say. But she'd definitely be my favourite. As for male, growing up it was Jeff Hardy, but not so much now. I would probably say I love John Moxley. I think he kind of does everything you need to do. But also I think MJF is just the perfect heel. I'm such a big MJF fan. It's his ability to stay in character all the time as well. Like,
Oh, definitely.
I've never ever seen him break character.
Yeah, as he shouldn't.
Imagine The Undertaker and MJF at a funeral together. That'd be gold.
I would rather have MJF at the funeral, not gonna lie. Now, obviously, if it's mine, who gives a shit? But if I had to organize a funeral and I've had to invite one of those two, I'd invite MJF, because at least he'd make it entertaining. The Undertaker would just make it about himself. He'd be like, oh, look, I know that your mum died, but do you have any fog machines coming in?
I'd
Like,
love
no,
to
Taylor.
know.
Like,
I'd love to know the circumstances in which you need to plan a funeral, but you have to invite a wrestler, but only one. What are those circumstances?
and the circumstances are also the wrestlers are whittled down to MJF and Undertaker as well. Like, you can't just pick anyone. It's just those two.
Wouldn't you have Baron Corbin to lighten the mood?
Would he
Baron
lighten
Corbin.
any mood?
He'd probably lighten the mood for whoever died. They'd probably be grateful they weren't there.
I don't have to witness this. When they bring
Exactly.
him back to life, they'll be like, hey, no, we're going to do this again. Baron, you're not allowed in here anymore.
As for
Oh,
the
well.
third and final question, before we get into the main part of this podcast, what are both of your favourite entrance themes? I'll start with Tayab this time.
Entrance themes. Oh, that's a good question. There's a lot of themes that I have to think about, and all of them are shit compared to Edge's, baby. Edge has the best theme ever. I don't know why he ever changed it, but like it's just fucking perfect from start to finish. Like I think at one time I nearly got deaf because I got new headphones, and I learned to listen to Edge's theme like 3 times in a row, and then after that my ears started ringing because it was too much. But yeah, I think Edge has just got the perfect theme. Like it starts off perfect. It's a banger fucking song, recognizable. What else do you want?
It was great during Clash at the Castle when Edge's theme and everyone sang along.
Oh, definitely. That's like the Welsh growing up coming up because we all learn how to sing in school. So like it just sounded amazing. But yeah, what about you, Hamish?
Mine's going to be quite a controversial one. It's when Samoa Joe debuted in NXT in like 2014. He came out to a really like funky jungle song they put on by accident. You know, in the beginning it's like blah blah blah, then like a dragon roar. Then it was like boop 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 boop, and I loved that song. And he never released it, but he came out to it once. It was by accident, and I loved it.
Wait, so you had so many themes to think of, and you pick a mistake by an intern.
Can I interest you with the Brie mode?
No,
Oh my
no, you
God,
cannot.
it's like-
Matt, you've ruined your pick.
Matt, it's not. What's yours, Matt?
Mine would be I mean I love Bryan Danielson's and Daniel Bryan when he was in WWE, but I'd probably say Nakamura, the one he debuted in
Nakamura's
NXT
really good.
with the
That was
intro,
really
the
good.
long intro and like the flashy lights, because the current one just cuts the intro and goes straight into the violin. But I like the sort of
Bro,
The-
that was one of the hardest intros ever.
This-
The guy came
yeah.
in with a violin, like fucking hell.
yeah I'd probably say that one. I can't really think of any that I enjoy listening to like whenever they enter as much as that one. I'd say.
I can think of one actually.
Also really good.
In AEW, Young Bucks now got "Carry On My Wayward Son" by Kansas, which is amazing.
Really?
Yeah,
Shit, I didn't know that they were allowed to do that. That's really cool. And that's a really good start as well, isn't it, for a theme?
yeah, everyone sings along the beginning bit. It's great. You should definitely watch it.
That's really good.
Oh, another one actually. Sami Zayn. Anything that you can sing along to, and also something that's got like a snappy intro as well. You need that.
Mm-hmm.
You need, like with Edge's "You Think You Know Me" at the start. You need something that immediately, because when I watched the Rumble this year, there were so many entrants. I was like, who the hell is this?
Yeah, exactly.
Because they all
Like,
sound too generic.
I think Seth Rollins' theme was really bad until they had to burn it down, and then it was really good.
Yeah, again, that's something that needed that something sharp. The burn it down is like it snaps you into what's happening, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, definitely, and it allows the crowd to be involved as well.
Mm,
Like, I think crowd involvement's also really interesting. Like,
big time. Yeah.
again with Triple H, you got the crowd spit, the fucking water spitting, don't you?
Yeah.
And yeah, Batista, you got the fucking like that. Randy Orton doesn't really have a good theme because it's Randy. It's fine. It's kind of weird. It fits him, but because of that.
Randy's
And-
theme fitted him when he first got it in 2008, but it really hasn't for like 10 years.
But it's kind of like he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So that's why it fits for me.
I
Because like,
miss his old theme though. I massively preferred "Burning My Light" to Voices.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like Voices is kind of an okay song to listen to. Burn in My Light was an actual fucking banger.
You're listening to the Atletifo Wrestling Podcast. So now that we're a month into 2023, or a month and a bit, I thought we'd take the time to reflect on the year that's just gone, or just gone a month ago, and talk about some of the things we liked and disliked, and some of the highlights of 2022. So, kicking things off, Hamish, what were your highlights of the year from a wrestling perspective last year?
I think for me, very selfishly, it would have to be Clash at the Castle was my highlight. Because
That's the first thing I've written as well.
I'm sure we all wrote that as the first thing, because it's the only actual
Yeah.
WWE pay-per-view ever been able to go to in our
Mm.
home city, inside the best
Literally.
stadium in Britain, because it's got a roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And it's right in the centre.
And watch Drew McIntyre look like an absolute loser, losing to the big dog. Ooh-ah.
No, you know who looked like a fucking loser? Who was the one that Seth Rollins faced?
Riddle.
Riddle. is the fact that so basically for the audience, it was the three of us watching, and at that time I hadn't been watching wrestling a lot, and we were watching with a friend of mine, and who doesn't watch a lot of wrestling, but he was getting really into it, right? So we were watching this promo for Seth Rollins versus Riddle, and Seth Rollins has always obviously been like a dickhead and stuff like that. So we're like, go on Riddle, go on Riddle. And then at one point in the promo, Riddle makes fun of Seth Rollins' wife, and Seth Rollins is like, oh yeah, well you cheated on your wife and she left you. And we just instantly turned, we were like, Riddle's a fucking loser, man. Why would you ever, like, you know, bring up his wife when you did that?
Yeah. We were just like, well, you're the loser now.
Yeah, exactly.
You completely changed our mind.
Like, fucking hell.
And I'm pretty sure everyone cheered Rollins during that match, and no one cheered Riddle as well.
Yeah.
That was a good match as well. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on Clash at the Castle. It was, not only was it in our hometown, which made it significantly easier to get to than any show ever. It was a really good show all round. Other than, and I don't know if this is controversial or not, I hated the Tyson Fury sing along at the end.
An English person in Wales singing American Pie was fucking stupid with a Scotsman as well.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I really enjoyed it because of how drunk I was.
Yeah, that'll help. That'll
Yeah,
definitely
I
help.
know.
Yeah.
I mean, Cardiff is a stone's throw away from London, as they say.
A small mining town.
We're all...
What were your favourite matches of the show? Would you say, or if you had to pick one?
Oh, there has to be.
Gunther versus...
Yeah, Gunther
Sorry.
versus Sheamus, definitely.
Yeah, I think we're pretty unanimous on that one.
No, definitely. But just for the sake of variance, I'd say that I'd actually say the main event was pretty good. Like, obviously Roman Reigns won at the end, but I thought that, you know, they both did a pretty good job. And also, like, Drew McIntyre, dude is like completely different from the last time I saw him in 3MB. Who would have fucking thought? Who would have thought that if 3MB, of the three of them, two of them would be world champions,
Including
and
the worst one.
and Heath Slater wouldn't be one of them. Like, what the fuck?
Hey, listen, if you had said to me, Heath Slater won't be WWE champion, I would definitely have believed you. It's the fact that Jinder won the title that's the shocking bit.
Yeah.
Why did he do that? Oh my god, but to be fair, out of 3MB, I've never seen two people more roided up before. Like, I have no problem with steroids. I don't. Like, it's a long road, and you got to do what you got to do. That's completely fine. However, you look at Jinder and you look at fucking Drew McIntyre, and god damn, they are huge. You know, that is fucking muscle upon muscle. Their hearts are working overtime. Like, you know, fuck me, man. Like, when I saw Drew, because, like, I don't know whether our listeners have ever been to a live event before, but these wrestlers are fucking huge. Like,
We were a
they
long
are
way away as well, comparatively, and
Yeah.
they looked, particularly Drew. Drew looked massive.
Yeah, like, you know, on the camera, obviously, because everyone's, like, you know, that same size, so they look small. But, like, if you see them walking next to normal people, you're fucking shocked by it. Like, they genuinely are larger than life. It's great. But I thought that match was really good as well, despite the ending.
I think from a storytelling perspective, it was really good. Roman, for me, I think we all agreed on this. There was certainly a time around WrestleMania 32 where we just were not Roman Reigns fans at all. But I think as a heel, he works so well.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
bloodline
definitely.
storyline's been really good, but
It's been very impressive, actually.
That was actually
really-
the next thing on my things I liked list. Is the Sami Zayn and the Bloodline story. It's one of my favourite feuds or favourite storylines for maybe ever in wrestling. Actually,
I would say so, yeah.
I wouldn't say ever,
Like,
but I'm
I think-
enjoying it.
Someone on Reddit, I was like reading on it, and they said it was quite a stark contrast. Like, so there's like two particular moments I can think of in wrestling that are like really shocking and memorable, right? Well, three actually. There's like Hulk Hogan going to the NWO, right? And Steve Austin joining up with Vince McMahon, and Seth Rollins turning on the Shield, right? See, those three moments are like fucking insane, right? Like, but at the same time, when it happened, it was quite shocking. Like, you didn't really expect it to happen, and it just came out of nowhere. I mean, it was good, but it came out of nowhere. But with the Bloodline, it's really impressive. It's just like, it was like a slow burn, and it's like you almost expected it, and you were just kind of waiting for them to fuck it up, but they really didn't. And like when Sammy turned on Roman, and then like Jay was like, it's not because of just random drama. It's like you legit buy into it, you know. that Jay's like, oh, this is my friend, I'm never gonna turn on him and stuff like that. It's fucking sick.
It's long-term storytelling. It's not something you see often enough, really, in WWE.
It's hard to pull off.
Mm.
Like, you know, imagine one of them got injured during this whole time. Like, what would they have done? It's really hard. Like, even for like normal TV shows and stuff like that, to pull something off like that is extremely impressive.
Well, as well,
Definitely, yeah.
you can plan. They can plan for this slow turn for Jay Uso and Sami Zayn and everything. But if people just don't start cheering for Zayn and booing Jey Uso and slowly turn around when they do, then the whole story's ruined, and they're like, oh, we'll just have to... What do you do? If no one's cheering Sami Zayn, so you got to just be ready to pivot and change at a moment's notice. Because I don't think nobody planned for Sami Zayn to get that over.
No.
No, definitely.
It wasn't that long ago he was doing that, what was it, the conspiracy gimmick thing where he's just walking around with a camera. Like, that's a far cry from the Bloodline story.
Yeah, no, definitely. And that kind of adds to it, I think, because he's all goofy, but he's also like a very heartfelt. Like,
But even then, during that time, he did have one of my other favourite moments from 2022, which was the Johnny Knoxville match.
Again, that was the next thing on my list. More so WrestleMania 38 as a whole, but that's definitely the thing I think of most when I think of WrestleMania 38.
Tayab, did you watch the match, Sami Zayn against Johnny Knoxville?
Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville had a match?
At
Oh, I don't think I
WrestleMania.
watched that.
Wee Man was there, Chris Pontius, all the Jackass
Man?
guys. Yeah,
TLC.
Wee Man, you know how Hulk Hogan body slammed Andre the Giant?
Yeah.
Well, Wee Man body slamming Sami Zayn was magnitude
What the fuck?
better.
That's amazing. That's actually more impressive. That's truly the giant haystack versus Big Daddy of 2020s.
And I don't want to spoil anything, but there was a giant mousetrap involved.
What the fuck?
And a giant hand as well. The giant hand was the best part.
Oh, the giant hand is from Jackass itself.
You need to, honestly, as soon as we finish recording this, you need to watch that match. It's
I will watch it.
it's
don't worry.
absolute carnage of the best kind. It's so brilliant. Yeah, definitely watch that.
I'll definitely give it a go. I need more wrestling in my life. I spend too much time just watching Twitch streams, so I might just watch wrestling instead.
Speaking of Mania 38, actually, another highlight of the year for me was seeing Cody Rhodes debut, although it wasn't necessarily a shock because I think we all kind of knew it was going to happen. Seeing him have his re-debut at WrestleMania against Seth Rollins in a really brilliant match as well.
It's a shame, because I was hoping it would be his former tag team partner, Hardcore Holly, coming back for a more run.
How old is he now? He must be like mid-50s, is he?
I reckon 60-odd probably now.
Wow.
Hardcore Holly.
That would have been a shocking pivot that none of us would have seen coming, to be fair.
Did we see Hardcore Holly in Cardiff?
We saw him at the Comic-Con we went in like 2013 or something, and I was going to get his autograph, but it was £30 and he looked terrifying.
Yeah, so just it's like a Comic Con, right? Obviously, you got the fucking autographs and stuff, and he was on his own. That's what got me. Like, nobody was appreciating Hardcore Holly.
The thing
We
is-
didn't.
The
But
thing
we
is,
were okay because we were children at the time.
he was on his own, sitting there in silence, but right next to him was Ted DiBiase Jr., also on his own, also in silence, also looking like didn't want to be there.
Oh,
And this was like what, 2013. I didn't go. I should clarify I wasn't there, but this was
Matt wasn't
2013.
invited.
So this is like 4 or 5 years after they were even, or certainly after Hardcore Holly was in WWE. Didn't he leave in 2008?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was around that time. He did not look like someone who was currently living that WWE salary, I would say.
I was
Hence why he was
for
charging
Amer-
30 quid for a picture.
No, but think about it, right? For an American to go all the way to fucking Cardiff, not even London, right? Not even like Manchester to Cardiff, right? And I love Cardiff, but at the same time, like it's kind of, you know, a bit smaller than you'd think. To come to Cardiff and charge £30 pictures, man. I just hope his life got a bit better.
I mean, can it get much worse than an empty
Will you
booth in
rock-
Cardiff for 30 quid a picture?
Empty booth in like Blackpool or something like that.
Oh yeah.
You go down to the beach and you're like, "Hey kids, remember Big Daddy? Well, I'm like him." And like,
You go, hey kids,
Who
remember
are you,
Big
bald
Daddy?
man?
They say,
"Where's your hair
hey,
gone?"
they say, hey kids, remember Big Daddy? And they'd go, no, we're not 40. Ah, okay, yeah. I'm also bald.
I'm also big, but I'm not fat. See, and they're like, I'm gonna call the police.
I used to be like, Hardcore Holly was my favorite. I only like Cody Rhodes because he's Hardcore Holly's tag team partner. I have no idea why I liked Hardcore Holly.
It's quite random. I'll give you that. That's
I always thought his shorts looked a bit like a South African flag, but why would that be a selling point to me? I have no connection to South Africa.
Or do you? Maybe it awakens something dormant within your DNA.
yeah, maybe
We're
it's
actually South African.
something in your subconscious. You've always been South African, and you just that was the hint you needed, and you didn't see it, man.
I'm not
You
gonna.
didn't see it till it was too late.
I'm not gonna put on a voice and embarrass myself like I usually would.
yeah.
It's okay. As we know from our past experience with our friends, you do have African roots.
Do I?
Do we know that? What?
Oh, do you have like an uncle who lives in Malta or something?
Malta? That's not Africa.
Oh no, it's close to Africa.
He's had a shockmaster moment here, isn't he? Just botched on his entrance.
It's not a great debut, unlike Logan Paul's debut, also at WrestleMania 32.
Oh, that was smooth. That was really smooth.
No, it's not. 32.
Yeah, he balls it up there with the
balled
number.
that one
Oh, okay.
38.
Yeah, there you go. 38 in the year of 2022. There you go.
Have you seen his match against Roman Reigns?
Oh yeah, I've seen bits of it. It's really, really good. Like I saw the clip of where he sort of took a selfie as he was doing like an elbow drop, and I thought that was fucking sick.
It's amazing how quickly he's just been able to put on like amazing matches.
It's been
Just out
quite
of
seamless,
nowhere.
isn't it?
But
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, Roman Reigns was helping a lot during that match, but you couldn't really tell
Yeah.
that he wasn't just, you know, he's one of my favourite wrestlers now, just based on the matches he had have all been amazing.
He's incredibly
Good,
athletic as well, isn't he? Like I'm genuinely shocked at how good he is in the air.
He used to be on the wrestling team and shit, didn't he? In high school, not in high school, in university. So
Okay.
like, he's not like alien to like this type of work ethic and stuff.
Yeah.
But to be fair, it is easy just to rest on your laurels and just be like, oh yeah, I'm Logan Paul, haha, just carry me. But it seems he's quite committed to it, and he has a natural talent for it, which is really cool.
I mean, his spot at the Royal Rumble where him and Ricochet collided in midair, he jumped further than Ricochet. Ricochet is like, he's Ricochet.
That
Yeah,
was the
exactly.
best thing I've ever seen in my life. That was, I don't know how, they must have been so
Really fucking
winded.
cool. Oh man.
I realise that the only company we've mentioned so far is WWE. So, Hamish, what would you say your favourite AEW moments have been from 2022?
I did enjoy the CM Punk against MJF dog collar match. That one was ridiculous.
It wasn't my favourite year. It's probably my least favourite AEW year, 2022. But it did have its moments.
Yeah, it was definitely, they sort of changed to having good storylines and just sort of doing, we're going to have great matches every single week. Like we'll have Roosh against Danielson and then Takashita against Moxley just randomly. But there was no like build up, like, you know, the Adam Page Omega storyline lasted 3 years. There was no, it needs more like promos in the ring, I think. Less Chris Jericho. A lot
definitely
less Chris Jericho. Less Chris Jericho winning.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah, he doesn't
have
need
more
it anymore.
I mean, get rid of Rampage because that's pointless.
Mm.
But I love seeing Bryan Danielson wrestling every week because he is the best wrestler in the world, I reckon.
Yeah. This actually transitions into things that we disliked in 2022, and for me the standout was the all-out media scrum in AEW. It really put me off the product for quite a while, actually.
Well, what was this? Sorry, I didn't really watch
I
it.
thought it was great.
This was- I mean, at the
Hilarious.
time it was like, oh, this is, you know, it's controversial. Basically, for you, Tayab, and for anyone who hasn't seen it, after All Out, CM Punk held a press conference with Tony Khan, and he spent the whole time just absolutely ripping into some guys in the back. I think it was the Young Bucks, Adam Page, and this led to a massive, real fight backstage between Punk and the Young Bucks and Adam Page, and Punk hasn't been seen on TV since. He was suspended.
Really?
Yeah, it really like left a bad taste in your mouth, I think.
You're missing some key details there, Matt. He also ripped
Go
shit
on.
into Colt Cabana and
Oh,
told
yeah.
everyone he shares a bank account with his mother. That tells you all you need to know about him.
What does it say about him?
But he basically just
He's a
talked
family
about
man.
like people in the elite just like leaking stuff about the Colt Cabana CM Punk relationship,
Right.
basically. But then
Oh, I
also
think I know about this. Yeah, sorry. You keep going.
in the fight afterwards, it was CM Punk and his friend Ace Steel and his dog in the dressing room. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks came to the dressing room, and then Ace Steel bit Kenny Omega and threw a chair at the Young Bucks.
What?
Yeah.
Like for realsies? They
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
punch each other. For
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
CM Punk's
Defeated
friend.
fighter CM Punk punched some people.
Somehow they're still alive
Wow.
after UFC legend CM Punk got a hold of them.
Oh, definitely UFC legend. What was it Mickey something who beat him and did a cartwheel afterwards? I remember that. And funnily enough, CM Punk said that he preferred UFC to WWE because when someone punches you, you know they mean it, instead of in WWE when they fake it. Turns out he was bringing that mentality back to AEW. God damn, how immature do you have to be?
It was a really uncomfortable watch. I mean, it was entertaining to watch the media scrum because Punk held nothing back. He really went for it.
He also ate muffins
But
whilst doing it.
You know, he was able to plug that local business, which was nice. At least someone benefited from
it
it.
wasn't just like a massive ad. Because you know wrestlers, right? It's always a work until it isn't.
Are you
don't wanna
saying
work
he
yourself
might have?
into a shoot here.
Yeah, he might have worked himself to a shoot. Much love, HH.
I feel like he has. I feel like it's all just a massive work, and Tony Khan is pulling the strings like a massive puppet master. Bravo, Tony. Never ever doubt him ever again.
He actually exposed Vince McMahon as a part of this giant work. None of that ever happened.
Like Vince McMahon exposed himself in front of many female wrestlers.
Heyo,
Oh,
got
sorry.
him.
How did he expose Vince McMahon?
Somehow he's faked all these things to Vince McMahon to get him out of the business. So we can buy WWE and bring CM Punk
Okay.
back just to take a live shit in the ring on Raw one day.
A raw shit.
I'm not sure to what end, but I'm still working on this.
Okay, does Michael Cole ever say I got goosebumps? Oh my!
He just screams "Oh my" so loud that the entire ring collapses. That's,
Oh, just like Brock Lesnar.
yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, back onto topic. What else would you guys say you didn't like about 2022 in wrestling? I should clarify.
Yeah, I was saying Boris if you didn't clarify.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
I'm sorry, I'm kind of useless here because I didn't really watch that much wrestling. I just watched all the highlights. So for me, it's nothing really because like I just watched all the good shit.
I really
I'm happy
hated,
to will off a few.
Yeah, you go on. You do a few.
So I've got 4 that I'll just rattle through quickly because I'm aware of the time and that we've got loads more to talk about. But first of all, 2022 Royal Rumble. I didn't like either of the winners. Was it Brock and Ronda, I believe, won the 2 Rumbles?
It was also they won it both from number 30, I think, and
Yeah.
I remember the men's rumble in particular. It was so dull, nothing happened, and you could not recognise anyone from their music. Even
Yeah.
like a living legend like Madcap Moss was just lost in the shuffle.
That's the real travesty of the year. I've also got, and this is not something that happens in the ring. It was kind of the exact opposite. It was the fact that Sasha Banks left.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's quite sad.
Like, yeah, it's like for me, she's probably would be one of my other shouts as my all-time favorite women's wrestler. So
No, definitely. She really was part of the first group to be like, okay, we're actually wrestlers now. We're not just like people in bras and panties. Like I think it was her, Bailey, Becky Lynch,
Charlotte as well.
someone- Charlotte as well. So,
Yeah,
like, it's
they really
sad to
revolutionised.
see her there.
I also would say, although it did lead to quite a funny moment at Clash in the Castle, was Austin Theory winning Money in the Bank. It was just a waste of a briefcase.
No. The worst thing wasn't
yeah.
him. It wasn't him winning Money in the Bank. It was him cashing in the Money in the Bank on the United States Championship and still losing.
What?
Tim.
What?
Yeah, he changed the rules. He
That is
cashed
so funny.
in. He cashed. I think he was on Seth Rollins for the US title.
It was, yeah.
And
It
he
was.
lost anyway, so he broke the rules. He was too shit to beat Reigns, and then lost.
I think the reason for it is because he was very much Vince's guy. So Vince had him win Money in the Bank. Triple H takes over and is like, why has this guy got it? Like, the only other one I've got is it's just a name. It's just the name Happy Corbin. It infuriated me every time I heard it.
I think Baron Corbin is just not anybody's favourite.
But like, you don't need to include the word happy in his name to tell us that something positive has happened in his life. Just have him smile. Like, he doesn't need to. Oh,
Can he smile?
it sickened me. Maybe he can't. Maybe that's it.
I think his facial muscles never developed to have that capability. Instead, he had like one good move, and that's about it.
It's a good
And also
move,
muscle
though.
his hair.
It's a
Yes.
his two signature moves are brilliant.
Definitely.
Moving on to what were your favourite shows actually of the year, other than Clash at the Castle. If you've got any, I mean, if you've got any others, allow Hamish to take this one.
My favourite show was Forbidden Door, just because the fact that they, after years of just saying, "Oh, we're not going to let any New Japan guys in AEW and vice versa," they suddenly the New Japan president came on TV and was like, "Big fucking show, New Japan versus AEW, Moxley versus Tanahashi in the main event," and I had one of my favourite matches of the year, which was Will Ospreay against Orange Cassidy, because they're just. I mean, Will Ospreay is one of the best wrestlers ever in the ring,
Mm.
and Orange Cassidy is. His style is so unique, and there's nobody else in wrestling like Orange Cassidy, who wrestles the way he
No,
does.
I agree. Yeah, yeah. I liked the show. My only thing was it was, as you said earlier, 2022 for AEW was very much just about good matches, but not a huge amount of story. I think that was my only real qualm with it was the fact that it was a great night of wrestling, but it all just felt like just a load of matches that didn't really lead to a hell of a lot.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true.
Not that's a bad thing.
Emotion in matches, yeah.
It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it felt very much like a one-off special that, as opposed to something more
AEW in your heart.
impactful, I guess. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next segment, which is really just a look at 2023 so far and our hopes and expectations and predictions for the year. So before we get into what we think's going to happen in the year or what we hope's going to happen in the year, I just wanted to ask both of you what your thoughts are on 2023 so far in wrestling. Hamish, what did you make of the Rumble? Do you have any issues with it?
I think it was one of the best Royal Rumbles in years. I think the right person won. I don't think Sami Zayn should have won realistically. I think that you can't have Cody Rhodes come back after that and lose. I think the match with him, Gunther looked like an absolute legend. Going, was it 70 minutes, 74 minutes?
Record breaking amount of time, wasn't it?
And then Cody Rhodes is just everything about you think, why do I like him? He seems like the opposite of everything that you should like in wrestling. But I can't help but get hyped. Oh, Cody Rhodes is back. There is adrenaline in my soul.
I love his nickname so much. American Nightmare. I think it's just so fucking badass.
Like the name, don't like the tattoo.
No one likes the tattoo.
It's the worst tattoo in all of wrestling.
Sorry,
It's not
Tayab,
even close.
did you just say it's all right?
Let me take a look. Oh fuck. Oh god. That's what I was thinking. Oh, never mind. That truly is an American Nightmare.
I remember reading someone wrote like a 3,000-word essay on how the Cody Rhodes tattoo was the catalyst of him leaving AEW 2 years later, and it made complete. The tattoo was when the crowd started to hate him.
It worked for me. So what do you guys think of the MJF Bryan Danielson feud?
I think it's good so far. I'm enjoying it. It's just they actually made Bryan Danielson a smart character, because before the MJF goes, you got to face these people to face me, and they want to wrestle him so badly that they're like, oh, I got to face Juventud Guerrera and like my dad or something. And then, but now Daniel Bryan's gone, you know what? No, I'm the number one contender. I'm just gonna not wrestle them and still fight you. And then he tricked MJF into making it a 60-minute Iron Man match. So hopefully he will just smash him like 9-0.
I do like Iron Man matches.
Do you think Bryan will win the title? Or
I reckon he will. I think he will. I think he's too good to not. He doesn't want the title because he's just doesn't like. He just wants to wrestle everyone and not doesn't care. But I think if you've got someone like Bryan Danielson, you've got to make him the champion. He's like the best wrestler in the world.
I suppose it would allow them to transition to a sort of more up and coming heel who could win it off him, I guess.
We think the only heels, who are the top heels? You got MJF, who's the champion, Chris Jericho, who's just like in his own little bubble, beating all the young guys. It's Swerve. Swerve is.
I do like Swerve. I'd like to see Swerve win it.
There's no real
at some point.
Good bad guy. I like Swerve. I think he will win it one day.
Well, we've already touched on the Zayn and Bloodline, which is one of it's one of the key topics of the year. So I reckon we should move on to talk about the rest of the year and what our hopes are and also our expectations are for WrestleMania and beyond. So what do you guys see going down at WrestleMania? Hamish, what do you reckon?
I think Cody Rhodes is going to beat Roman Reigns in the main event. That seems obvious. I'm not big on it being 2 nights. I'm not big on that, but that's not going to change. I do not consider the first night's main event a WrestleMania main event. So
Yeah, because the main event's like the last thing, isn't it?
yeah, so I
prefer it. I prefer it from like a not having to watch 8 hours in a row stance.
That does help.
Yeah, but you still get all the filler from both nights. You still get random Shane McMahon matches and Vince McMahon against Pat McAfee.
Yeah, you do get that.
The last
You
great
do,
WrestleMania.
kind of like
Last great WrestleMania was WrestleMania 30. It was like 3 hours long with like 8 matches. They were all great.
31 was pretty good.
Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes wins the title. He'll probably lose it to. I reckon he'll lose to Gunther at SummerSlam. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a shout.
I think. Who else WrestleMania? I think Austin Theory apparently against John Cena.
That's the way it seems. Do you think that will be for the US title? Because Theory's going to be defending that at Elimination Chamber in the Chamber, so he's got to win that first.
I'd say likely, and then he beats John Cena because Cena's only going to come back for one match. He's too busy doing Daddy's Home 3 or whatever.
No, he's doing the Suicide Squad. No, not Suicide Squad. Peacemaker, and he's really good in that. He's really good. Like,
I haven't
who would have
seen
thought
it.
out of The Rock, Batista, and John Cena, The Rock would be the worst actor out of the 3 of them. But Cena's just like an amazing actor, funnily enough. Well, he's not playing the Marine.
I was going to say, he wasn't great in the Marine.
No, but like if you watch the Suicide Squad, the one with like Idris Elba and shit, he's so good. He actually steals the show. And also, obviously, he can speak like Chinese and stuff like that.
What is he? Some kind
love
of
Cena.
the Suicide Squad?
What's he? Some kind of Xiaozhen Kaosheng Bo Shensai Fai Bing
Why did you learn that?
What do you mean? Why didn't you learn that?
I think I'm going to learn it as soon as we finish this podcast. To be fair.
Did you just...
Oh,
okay, sorry.
What do you guys think about Jade Cargill's undefeated streak as well? Again, this is aimed at Hamish. Tayab, I know you don't necessarily watch a huge amount of wrestling.
No, not for now. I will fix it for the next one. I do apologise, listeners.
Based on, she's fine, I guess. And yeah.
What's your take on the streak itself, and who do you think will be the one to end it? Because she's 50-0 now, isn't she?
Yeah, I would have ended it a while ago personally. I think Tay Conti should have been her, or Tay Mello, she's called now. I reckon. What's her name? Chris Statlander will be the one to beat it when she's back from injury, which I think should be about Double or Nothing time. They were
May? That's May, isn't it? Double or Nothing.
End of May, I think.
Yeah.
Usually it is.
Because I was thinking about who should end it, and I was thinking she was one of the 3 names I thought of. It was Chris Statlander, Tony Storm, and Jamie Hayter. I can't really think of anyone else that would make sense.
Athena, I think, could.
Okay.
Ember Moon from WWE.
Yeah, formerly Ember Moon. Yeah, that'd be cool. I mean, I love her finisher. Does she still call it the Eclipse, or is it called something different now?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I didn't like her in NXT because all the hype videos for months and months and months were like she was this werewolf vampire thing and used the power of the moon. And she came out and was like a regular woman. I was like, but you said you were a vampire. You can't just wear contacts and I think that's a character.
Was the moon out though? Because if the moon wasn't out, how can the wolf be out? You know.
The man raises a good point. Yeah, before we get into the famous final segment of the show, which Tayab, I do want you to read the fan fiction. I just wanted to ask if you guys have any bold predictions for the rest of the year, and try and be as bold but also plausible. You know, I don't want anything like Vince is gonna win Money in the Bank and cash it in on Charlotte. Like, you know, it would be funny.
He's gonna buy it and make Muhammad Hassan return. My bold prediction is Roman Reigns leaves after WrestleMania and doesn't come back until like Royal Rumble time.
Interesting.
Okay.
Boldest take.
I have one, not so much about in-ring, but about from a business perspective. I can see WWE being sold, but I don't think it'll be to anyone that's currently being properly talked about. I don't think it'll be to Saudi, and I don't think it'll be to Disney.
Is this where you? If you're throwing your hat into the ring to buy WWE?
I mean,
we got together.
Yeah, I reckon if the three of us chipped in, we could probably buy one of the ring ropes, maybe two. Turnbuckle at a push. No, I can see one of the big streaming platforms buying it, and I'm going to say Amazon because they got Prime Video, so that's a streaming service. They've got their own, obviously, the store for the merchandise, so I think it makes sense, and obviously they can afford it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Well, my unlikely prediction is that the CM Punk thing was all a work. He injured his foot. No, he injured his shoulder, I think, during the match. 8 months out, it was meant to be. So Tony Khan and him said, "Listen, we're gonna shit all over everyone here. You shit on them. Were they in on the fight? I don't know. He's gonna come back at Double or Nothing, challenging. I don't know. Probably Kenny Omega to a match that will main event All Out, and that will be huge. Although, even if it wasn't to work and he did just get injured and get really grumpy, I still think he's coming back.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, other burnt bridges have been rebuilt in the past. You know, I think so many worse things have happened in wrestling, and people have still come back. So I don't see why he wouldn't necessarily.
It's just an argument and a little bit of a fight. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, like Goldberg came back after Chris Jericho beat him up, so that's alright.
Yeah, I like that one. Do you see him definitely coming back to AEW, or could you see him going elsewhere?
No, he's coming back to AEW, definitely. I don't think he'll go. Only WWE could pay him that much money, and I don't think apparently Triple H is not keen.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I mean, unless he were to go to New Japan, but I think AEW makes the most sense. So my other bold prediction is, and this is like a three-parter. So I think at WrestleMania, Gunther is going to beat Drew.
Oh, nice.
I think at SummerSlam he's going to beat Brock, and I think by or at WrestleMania 40 he will be a world champion. Clearly, Triple H sees him as a massive star, so I can see that happening.
When he wrestles Cody Rhodes,
100%.
It'll be like, I reckon it'll be SummerSlam main event against Cody Rhodes. And I think he'll win the WWE title.
You reckon?
I would go for that.
Do you see it being like the when Brody Lee squashed Cody in like 2 minutes? Do you think it could be that sort of match?
No, it'll be a long half-an-hour affair, I think.
Okay, yeah.
It'll be an amazing match.
I'd rather it was that.
Gunther's vibe is never like, Stomp. It's more like, oh yeah, we're gonna fight. Oh, you're gonna have a chance, and then boom, you're dead.
But not too much of a chance.
It's almost like playing with your food, isn't it? I suppose with Gunther.
Yeah, definitely.
He gives you a chance, but never too much of a chance. You're always like, well, Gunther's definitely got this.
But has he?
Exactly. But it's always like you're always thinking he's definitely won. But has he? Yeah, he has. But has he? Yeah, he has now again. Yeah. Keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, like how his matches can end with anything as well. Like the
Yes,
first one with the Tyler Bate, that was really fucking good because like it was just a clothesline. I was like, oh, he's gonna get up. Oh, sorry, lariat. I was like, he's gonna get up, but he didn't, and I was like, oh fuck, man. And it looked like it hurt, so I was like, oh shit, is that it? Like you just never know, and it's fantastic.
definitely. It takes away that predictability of, oh, he's just hit finisher, so it's over. Like he hits everything with so much impact that
Mhm.
you never really feel sort of disinterested because of it, I would say.
No, not at all. Like he knows how to keep your attention. And
Yeah.
stuff. It's great. Also, I have one more bold thing.
Go on.
That's gonna be quick. There's gonna be AEW are gonna do a crossover, not with New Japan, but with WWE, baby. One day, we're gonna see CM Punk versus John Cena, yet again.
I'd like to see that.
Kenny,
Actually,
Omega
on
versus
that topic, what would be your dream AEW WWE Forbidden Door match?
Kenny Omega versus Seth Rollins, probably.
Ooh, I like that.
Or John Moxley versus Seth Rollins. That's never been done before.
Mine would
What about
probably
you,
be
Hamish?
probably Hardcore Holly against JD Drake.
What?
Are you okay? Did you go a bit too hardcore?
I just think, who is a big enough star to face Hardcore Holly? And the answer is literally everyone. So put him on Dark. Put him on AEW Dark.
Is this a get an autograph in Cardiff match?
Yeah.
Does
Ends
is
in a no
QT Marshall
contest.
the QT Marshall's involved though, right?
No,
Special guest ref?
I just forgotten he existed. Thanks for reminding me.
No, you didn't. No one ever forgets QT Marshall.
I tried my best.
I know, but don't worry, we got you sorted.
I'm trying to think what my dream match would be between the two, but I think Tayab's is perfect. Rollins against Kenny Omega. I can't think of anything better than that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Reigns against Omega.
That would be really good as well.
Yeah, I'd rather watch Rollins though. You're listening to the Atletifo Wrestling Podcast. Moving on to the final segment of the show. I'm really excited about this. I will say that.
Oh, yeah. Can we describe it for our new listeners?
What was the name
so
of it
last-
again?
I mean, you came up with the name of the segment, so it's just down to you to
It
recall
was, I believe it was called something like, "Oh God, oh no, my ears, please stop, oh no."
Yeah, that's the one. For those who didn't listen last week or listening maybe in a year's time to this one and didn't hear the first one, this segment of the show is where we read a wrestling fan fiction that we found online. Now, Hamish very kindly, I think, found I think, is it 50 chapters long? It's something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 50 chapters, about 90,000 words. There's a lot of love been put into this.
So yeah,
Basically-
the segment, as I said, would involve us reading. We're going to read a chapter of this book every. Or I say book. We're going to read a chapter of this fan fiction every week. We're going to alternate, so you can hear a range of voices reading this absolute masterpiece. And seeing as Tayab is the newbie around here, I thought, who better to have read? I don't even know what it's called, but who better to read it than Tayab? So whenever you're ready.
So
Make
I'll
sure-
begin with a little blurb. Hello everyone, I realise I may have been a bit misleading in my first chapter. Sheepish grin, that's what you wrote. I was wrong to call it a one-shot as it's fic will have several chapters.
Yeah.
Total range from romantic to funny to fluffy to smutty and everything in between.
Fluffy.
Excited to read what's next. Wink.
Fluffy.
Stay tuned.
Oh
The
God.
story will only get better and more complicated, hopefully. Winky face.
Oh, I love a complicated
Shout out
story.
to you, Lucinda. Alright. here we
Particularly a fluffy one.
Shawn waited in the lobby, twirling a finger in his long curly hair. He was early, something he usually wasn't, and pretty excited. After all, it wasn't every day one had the privilege of going partying with the Undertaker. Side note, he did have that privilege growing up. Like, actually no, he wouldn't party with the Undertaker. I digress.
Just to clarify,
Damn near
he's
unheard of.
clarifying he was invited. He was invited.
Yeah, I think.
He's bragging
Okay.
about it.
It was down here unheard of among the guys, so this was the chance to have some serious fun if the rumors were true. He dressed accordingly, knowing that the Undertaker was most likely going to be wearing all black. Fucking guess that. He had chosen to wear white jeans, white button-down long sleeve shirt, and even white boots, and a white attitude. decided to sorry. He decided to let his golden brown hair flow freely over his shoulders, with the exception of 2 small braids bound at the back. The only thing that wasn't white was a black band around his waist, and the thing covering his cock. No, that's not what it says. He could barely tear himself from the mirror, he looked so good. Alright, it's 10 o'clock. You should be coming down right about now, Shawn thought, still fiddling with his
I love the voices.
Yeah, there
Just
adds
ripped
so much
Undertaker
to
up.
it.
He looked up at the stairs, and a small smile came to his lips. Sure enough, the Undertaker was coming, as expected, and as expected was wearing all black, about to turn it into a Jackson Pollock painting, baby. This time he had black jean pants, a black button-down shirt, and a black jean jacket with 2 white skulls on the front. HBK stood up, and they shook hands somewhat formally. "You look nice," Shawn said with a laugh. I don't know why I'm turning into Arthur Morgan. "And I totally knew you were going to wear black." The Undertaker laughed. "When do I not wear black?" he asked, pointing to a silver earring in his right earlobe. "Except for this, maybe."
See, you're the right
Yeah,
earlobe.
So wait, no, fuck. Let me just...
You're
sort
the
go
right
on.
earlobe. Isn't that the
Yeah.
one you pierce just to show you're gay? Is that the one?
Foreshadowing, baby.
So is he hinting towards that?
Mm-hmm.
It's subtle
Maybe.
writing, you know.
Subtle foreshadowing, you know.
It is
Onomatopoeia,
some
all that bullshit.
subtext.
Maybe you could borrow some of my old earrings, although they may be a bit flashy for your tastes. Flashy? You never, Taker said, with a smile as Shawn began to laugh again. Come on, let's go before the club gets full. Not knowing that he's the fucking Undertaker, he could teleport him anywhere. The Heartbreak Kid nodded as they made their way to the parking lot. What's this voice? "Where are we going?" he asked as he climbed on the black Titan in back of the Undertaker.
What?
There was an
What does that mean?
He climbed. Is he like climbed inside his
Why
coat?
don't they take a taxi? They're gonna drink and drive on their way back. What the hell? There was an unspoken agreement between the two that they would travel together by bike. Even though Shawn could technically drive, the Undertaker had made it clear that he wasn't ready to risk his life just yet. Sorry. Not that Shawn really cared. He was content riding in the back of the Undertaker's bike. "Downtown," the dead man answered cryptically. "You'll see. I think you'll like the place. Best club in town." Why does he talk? As if he's like from a fucking adventure film and English is his second language. Best club in town. "How do you know so much about all the clubs?" The Undertaker smiled beautifully. "Do you know?"
Beautifully.
"They used to call me the party taker." That was kind of a short chapter. Do you guys want to do another
The
one?
fucking party
think-
taker.
I think first,
What?
so in one line you've got he smiled beautifully and they call me the party taker.
It used to call me, okay?
Oh my god. Thank you very much for listening to this episode of the Atletifo Wrestling Podcast. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Atletifo Podcast so you never miss another episode.